Well, let me begin by saying Merry Christmas. It is Christmas Day when I'm recording this. In fact, it's Christmas Day, and it's not even light out yet. It's not even, it just turned 6:30 a.m. in the morning. And I'm recording the video. This is my second Christmas video, and the title of it is Why 2 Days of Christmas? And of course, the date is December 26th. That'll go up. That'll air. I'll put it up later this afternoon, hopefully. The blurb goes like this. Yes, there are two calendars used in the West, the Julian and the Gregorian, which is why we have two Christmas days. Many Orthodox Christians fast before Christmas Day. Many people identify the Nativity Fast as the period of preparing to celebrate Jesus Christ's birth. It is believed that fasting helps people shift their focus from themselves to others, spending less time worrying about food and using more time in increased prayer and caring for the poor. In return, fasting before the Nativity enables one to fully enjoy, appreciate, and celebrate the Nativity of Christ. For many Orthodox Christians, Christmas Day is not about presents, eggnog, or Christmas characters that have been popular through commercialization. Christmas Day is a time to heal the soul. It is a time of peace and unity. White cloth is used on dinner tables to symbolize purity and the cloth that the baby Jesus was wrapped in. Straw may be placed on these tables to symbolize simplicity of the place where Jesus was born. Candles can be lit to represent the light of Christ, and the festive Christmas meal represents the end of fasting. Now, of course, neither December 25th, nor in this case this year, January the 7th, is the real Christmas. Jesus was not born in the wintertime, probably in the fall. But I'm not sure even that's true. It certainly wasn't in the wintertime because shepherds were supposedly watching their sheep at the time of his birth. And shepherds don't do that when it's in the wintertime. They watch their sheep indoors, but not outdoors. Anyway, the whole idea of Christmas, as it said in this blurb, of commercialization is a Western idea that's primarily coming out of Rome, which commercializes everything and keeps all the important stuff secret and hidden from the people. But the Russian Orthodox, and I think the Greek Orthodox as well, celebrate Christmas very, very differently. It's a much more spiritual thing than it is a commercial venture. And I like that focus because we have to get back to the spirituality. As I said yesterday, my son-in-law and daughter have gone out of their way to get advances on money that's been being held, because my son-in-law doesn't usually allow anything to be taken out. He likes to keep that as a savings account. And I guess they released some of that money so they could splurge this Christmas and buying more expensive gifts. I'm going to be going over there later today, and I'll see what all they've got. I know one of the gifts because they put it here in the house so that it wouldn't be discovered beforehand because it was a little bit large. Anyway, folks, if there is no spiritual solution, it doesn't matter. In fact, if there is no spiritual solution to the craziness of our world, nothing matters. The world is insane. And as I've said before, I don't want to be on an insane planet anymore. I came here since childhood with the express purpose of fulfilling a mission that's unfolded throughout my life, but I've known about it since I was a little boy. I've had that sense that I was here for a purpose, and that's always been the purpose. Now, granted, there's an awful lot that we've been told that simply isn't true. I hope the idea of there being a real God isn't one of those. If it is, as I said, then nothing matters, nothing makes sense. If we're left on our own to fend for ourselves in a world that the worst people claim leadership positions, then something is, the cards are stacked against us, and something will never happen that's good. It'll only get worse. And there seems to be evidence of past destructions, as I've said before. This is not the first world. There was Lemuria, there was Atlantis, and there might have been others as well that seem to have been destroyed. Now, some say that there's a whole different inner earth reality that's a more spiritual reality than what we see on the surface of the planet. That I don't know either. I do believe that the earth is hollow. I do believe that there's an inner earth. I do not believe in the flat earth nonsense. But be that as it may, this is a time of reflection, introspection, and making peace with our soul, with ourself, and as much as we can with one another. You know, I have reached out in the past 6-7 months, returning to the Methodist Church. And by the way, I've only ever joined the Methodist Church and the Lutheran Church. I was very actively involved in the Presbyterian Church, but I didn't actually join that one. I never joined the Assembly of God, as I've said in previous videos, I believe, when the minister was calling up the people that were going to be added as members. He forgot me, and I rode with him. I mean, he's the one that picked me up and took me to church at that time. And yet he forgot and said, I'll do it next week. But I realized that it was not an accident, that God didn't want me to join the Assemblies of God. So I never did, even though I was very active in that church when I was growing up and as a teenager. In any case, Christmas, I'd like to recommend that you spend not just Christmas Day and the period around Christmas, but that you take time to reflect on where we are together as humanity. And I'd like to request that we put our intentions as much as we can toward restoring Earth to a planet where there is truly free will, where we're not run by demons, and where demons, in fact, and then those that claim demonhood are sequestered in such a way that they can no longer wield influence negatively on humanity, which they've been doing for a long time. There was a report that came out that someone shared with me yesterday that was very optimistic in the respect that it did see positive changes coming. And I hope that these prophecies and predictions that have been going on for a long time actually come to pass. That would make my life meaningful, and I will no longer have the idea that I've lived it in vain. Anyway, I do wish each of you a Merry Christmas, and I hope that the new year brings us blessings that we've waited for a very long time. I'm sure there will be challenges, but may the challenges be overcome by good and not by those who want to continue the control system and even tighten the grips more and more. If that happens, I don't know what to say. We're doomed, I guess. Anyway, thank you for listening, and I hope each of you had or will have or are having a Merry Christmas. And how many days of Christmas? The 12th day of Christmas my true love sent to me. Anyway, that's the difference, I guess, between the Christmas Day West and Christmas Day East. Thank you for listening. Namaste.